Hello, everyone, and welcome to the EFB Academy. This topic is the financial process for EFB chairs. My name is Temitope Bernard, and I am a team member on the Global Finance Board Network and Communications team. My entity is currently AIESEC in UAE. So there are some key takeaways that I want you to have at the back of your mind for when we go through this session. So the first one is the aim of the session is to have you understand the roles and responsibilities of the different stakeholders to the EFB. So the different stakeholders of the EFB. And then another reason is to summarize the EFB's responsibilities in the entity's financial process. So day-to-day activities of the EFB, what you might be required to do, the things that you would be doing on a daily basis or a weekly basis, just some of the tasks. I wanted to bring like an overview of the network structure just to get more clarity on the stakeholders or the people involved in the EFB process. So there is the AI team, where the GFB comes into contact with the AI team, and the GFB also come into contact with the EFB. The MCs also have direct contact with the EFB and also the LC. So again, I have to point out that the EFB is an independent body, but they still work in synergy with other stakeholders or other departments. So here is, for the purpose of this session, we would only be touching on the synergy or the responsibilities of the GFB, the MC, and the LCs with regards to the EFB carrying out its duties properly. So the first one we're going to touch on is the responsibilities, roles, and responsibilities of the GFB to the EFB. The first one is the GFB is responsible for coordinating the EFBs by providing the necessary resources, the guidelines, and the education to fulfill their roles in the entity. So the GFB downscales all of the educational materials and any tools that might be needed for GFBs to for EFBs to carry out their role properly. The second one is the GFB supports the EFBs to establish and perform audits in the local and national levels. And you can also check the following in the AIESEC Financial Procedures and Manual. The third one is the GFB is in charge of releasing the clusters for entities. And there are some entities that can say no to the audit. However, if an entity refuses an audit, but they fall between the lower brackets of the criteria of the cluster, then they have to work with the GFB to establish a better accounting system and an EFB body. So if an entity falls in the lower criteria or the lower cluster and they refuse an audit, then they have to set up an EFB in their entities. And this is where the GFB comes in to support as well. Now we move on to the roles and responsibilities of the MC to the EFB. And the first one we have is that the MC works closely with the EFB to ensure that the financial processes are consistent, accurate, and transparent. So this is where MC is also working with EFB to ensure that everything is done according to the AFPM. The second one is the MC provides the guidance and support for the EFB in their training and development of finances across the network. Now the MC is directly in charge of or the MCVP F&L, to be specific, is directly in charge of the finance network in an entity. So it's the MCVP F&L's responsibility to make sure that the members are attending the EFB sessions and attending any educational programs or engagements that the EFB has set up for the network. The third one is the MC collaborates with the EFB to ensure that there's completeness, accountability of financial process in the entity. So the MC is also in charge of like downscaling the tools for finance, downscaling strategies, or anything to help the entity's entire process be more accountable and complete. And also, with keeping records of transactions, keeping records of receipts, everything. The first one is the MC ensures the efficiency of financial process in the entity while working with the EFB to identify areas of improvement. So this is where the EFB and MC synergize to say, okay, this is an area of concern that we've noticed in your financial processes, and then they work together to improve these processes or make sure that they're more transparent or more clear. The fifth one is the MC provides an oversight and support to the EFB in conducting the audits on the national and local level. So we have like two different bodies responsible for or like assisting the EFB to conduct the audits locally and on the national level. We have the MC, which provides oversight to the EFB, and then the GFB would provide like the support tools or support educational materials for what they need for the audits. Then we have the last one, the roles and responsibilities of the LCs to the EFB. So the first one is to provide updates and information on financial processes and procedures of their LC. So it's the LC's responsibility to the EFB to provide them with the information that they need for the audits, or maybe even to make sure that they have proper education plan for the LC finance members. So the second one is the LC works with the EFB to ensure like the financial processes are implemented consistently, accurately, and transparent within the local committee. So the LCs are in charge of the implementation of whatever processes that the EFB has come up with as an improvement or as a new way of doing things to make the financial process of the entity more accurate and consistent. So the LCs are in charge of the implementation of that. The third one is the LC provides support to the EFB in the training and development of financiers across the local committee. So the training of the LC members, the LC would provide support to the EFB, maybe by setting up a perfect time for the LCV finance and the finance network to attend the commission calls and other things like that. Then we have the fourth one, which is the LC provides the necessary documents to the EFB to conduct audits properly on the local level. Now we have the responsibilities of the EFB in an entity's financial process. So the first one, and also one of the most important ones, is auditing and internal controls of the LC. So auditing the financial processes of the LCs, making sure that they align with the AFPM, not only on the LC level, but also on the national level. Second one is compliance with legal and regulatory requirements. So just making sure that the financial processes are in line with whatever legal status is or whatever legal requirements is that in that country, because the EFB would know better, which is why we always advise that the EFB should come from your country rather than having an AFB chair from an international or from a foreign country. And then the third one is educating the finance network in the entity to aid the finance pipeline. Some of the knowledge that you might need to perform your role properly, or some of the knowledge you might need to understand this session better, we have the AIESEC Global Compendium, and it's also best to check the National Compendium to see if there are any things that have been added or modified to suit the nation that it's in. Then we have the AIESEC Financial Procedures Manual. Now, this one I believe is one of the most important ones that you need to know and read up on. Then we have the finance and legal governance risk regulation in your country. So just knowing the financial laws to be able to check if the LCs are complying with it or not. And then the last two are the AIESEC Global Finance Information System. And the last one is the role of the EFB chair, which is the first series in this in the EFB Academy. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time.